Welcome to yet another section of Sports Extraordinary here on Atlantic Television Network. On this edition of the program, we'll take a look at football issues that concerns Rivers Angels. Yes, they are Angels from Rivers. They are unveiling players and officials today at the Yakubu Gowon Stadium. We'll take a look at that. Hopefully, the media officer of the team, Fedolucci, should be with us to disclose the players are gotten by the team, and of course, the new head coach of the team as well. Arsenal and Manchester United are ongoing in a bid to qualify for the fourth round of the FA Cup in England. It is 1-1 as we speak. I will see which of the team will move into the fourth stage of the competition. Later tonight, there will be the El Clasico. Yes, El Clasico. This one will be taking place in Jeddah, South Africa, Saudi Arabia. Involves Real Madrid and FC Barcelona. The bid to who gets the Spanish Super Copa Cup tonight. We'll let you know all of this on the program Sports Extraordinary that returns in a short while.
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN. From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussion on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentary. So catch all your updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people. All of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what
I have fought a very fair.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
front lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your bits on the happenings around the globe.
Welcome back. It's Sports Extraordinary here on Atlantic Television Network. Sorry for a little bit of delay. It had to be technical. But now we're back. And of course, I have with me in the studio my guest for this Sunday. And he's no other than a Port Harcourt-based journalist, of course, well known across Nigeria, to a large extent Africa as well. Carl Rakwesi. Carl, nice to have you.
Evening, Cyril. Evening, of course, to the viewer.
Okay. It has been a football day, I must say. First, let's start, before we get to football proper, the Australian Open is here with us for the very first Grand Slam of the year. No big name has fallen so far, but yet it is started, I say, slam off very well.
Yeah, of course, like you said, it's early days, but characteristically, normally you will have perhaps one or two high seeds, top seeds rather, maybe fall in the opening weeks. But this is just the start. Get everyone getting set into the season, opening Grand Slam for the season. I'm sure as we move forward, we're going to, of course, get those upsets. But pleasant for if you're a top seed, everything is going smoothly as it is ranked and predicted. We're
talking about ranking and prediction. The first ranked player for the females is Aryna Sabalenka, and she has had to dispatch yet another no-name, like you talked about, maybe surprise, Sloane Stephens, 6-3, 6-2 in the first game that was our first match we saw at Rotterdam Arena.
Yeah, so of course for Sloane Stephens, plenty of promise, for Sloane Stephens at a certain point in time. But lots of people thought that perhaps, at one point in time, she also was maybe perhaps the next Serena Williams, and all that. But her rank at this point in time did not foresee her going beyond her opponents in this particular match. So knocked out here, no surprises for this one.
No surprises, especially in the male category. All the first matches that we've seen today have not had any big name in the male category pull out. So we look out to more games coming up tomorrow. But Aryna Sabalenka, the lady you can see on your screen there, showing why she is right now world number one. She has actually taken her first title this year at Brisbane. And now she's fighting to be the very first since 1999, after Martina Hingis, to win the Australian Open consecutively. Carl, she's won twice this on the bounce. In 2022 and 2023, 2023 and 2024, she won the Australian Open. And she's looking out at being, I think, the 7th lady and the first after Martina Hingis in 1999 to win 3 times consecutively at the Australian Open.
It's never easy. It's never easy. You have lots of people perhaps playing the field, looking also to get results. Sometimes people, I heard somebody of recent talked about, we tend to, should I say, divorce ourselves from luck in sports. Whether you're a good player, whether you're a wonderful player, top player at any point in time, you could be in top form also at any point in time, but just one thing could basically outweigh you. But for this case here, she has, a strong field to contend with, so it's definitely not going to be easy, Cyril.
No, it's going to be easy for Aryna Sabalenka, but she is looked at as a top seed in Australia, and she hopes to keep to her ranking as the world number one. But don't forget, there is still the Polish lady out there, Iga Swiatek, fighting to retain to get back to world number one after being slid to number 2 position last year. Away from tennis now, like I told you, it is on for another 2 weeks, so we'll get to bring you update on it almost on a regular basis here on Atlantic Television Network. But we'll go to our main discourse for this Sunday, and it has to do with football, and we'll start with the Rivers Angels at their Doki Amesibuka Stadium just a few hours ago. The team was in full glare of the public, unveiling players, unveiling team jersey, and of course the head coach of the team. Carl, first let's start with players. A team of players was unveiled out there at the Dr. Messimeka Stadium, all brand new players from different club sides, mainly Delta Queens. We saw 12 players unveiled by Rivers Angels, 12 new players.
Yes, basically you say a new team. That's what Rivers Angels is going to be coming into the new season, the NWFL season for 2025. As much as 12 players were unveiled today, majority of them from Delta Queens, as you pointed out. Interesting lineup. We had 2 new goalkeepers, I think Mbechi and the impressive and standout Fatima Oloko was from Adamawa Queens was also unveiled today. I and some of the other fellows who were at the stadium were actually asking ourselves, it will take some gelling, it will take some time for these players to actually gel, because what we have is a team. Yes, we have some of the old players, of course, retained. We have lots of them, some key players. But when you have this new infusion into the team, it's going to take them some time to actually blend in. We're talking about players now. I'm sure in a bit now you're also going to talk about the new coach. So basically everything is new for Rivers Angels going into the next season. New jerseys, both home and away, new players, new coaches, and of course I'm sure it's going to be new tactics and formation going into the season.
Well, we've talked about players, 12 of them, 12 new players, unveiled today at the Dr. Messimeka for Rivers Angels. Let's talk about the coach now. Coach Blankson, reputed to be one of the best female coach across Nigeria here. Do you think this is a good choice for Coach Blankson joining Rivers Angels?
Well, for Rivers Angels, one thing is quite clear. Like we had the media officer during the presentation of the players, they look out for the best. They played for some of the players that were recruited. These players were recruited based on the way they saw them play during the course of the season and how standout those players were for the season. Also for Blankson now, that's the man who is going to be at the helms, the new coach in charge. Now, he is a coach who has plenty of experience coaching, female football here. Even going back to, of course, when he played locally on the scene. He played for Calabar Rovers even at one point in time. He's also coached, I think, at Delta Queens. And whether we like it or not, Delta Queens is also one side that has actually been impressive and also strong when it comes to female football here in the country. He has a CAF, I think, is it CAF D or is it CAF B license? CAF B license. He's got that one there. So, it's wonderful. On paper, Cyril, it does look good. The man comes in with plenty of experience. The man comes in with plenty of know-how. Now, we're going to look forward to seeing is he molding these new players alongside the players that were retained, from the past season, molding them together and giving us a team. Now that's the word. It's not about standout players. It's not about star players from wherever you're coming from. Can Rivers Angels now be molded into a perfect team to give us trophies? There's been, unlike themselves, there's been tough trophy drought in a recent time, but can they be molded into a wonderful team to be able to give the people trophies?
Well, talked about Rivers Angels unveiling new players and a new head coach as well. They did unveil a new set of jersey both home and away. Carl, will you say you were impressed with the color of the jersey seen out there at the Dr. Messimeka Stadium, at the Yakubu Gowon Stadium where the unveiling ceremony took place? Traditionally
for the clubs in this state, white, blue for home jersey, white, for away jersey. At some point in time, they've also worn red. I think kids manufacturer Owu responsible for also providing jerseys for the female side. The colors, of course, as I say, colors are traditional. Designs, well, I'll just say fair enough for the designs that's been given by Owu. Fair enough for the designs. It's also impressive to see that such investment is going into the female side. The female side may cry that the male side here, that's Rivers United, perhaps get more welfare is better taken care of, maybe more investment or more monies, poured into the team. But the jerseys also show us that there's concerns concerning, of course, how they look for Rivers Angel. Wonderful set of jerseys. The design, fair enough.
I wouldn't be short of saying that I saw the coach jersey as well at the unveiling, and I must say the least, I'm not very impressed with the color and the design of the jersey
for the coach.
For the coach,
yeah. Yes, I know it was pointed out by, I think, one of them yourselves also at the stadium. Seemingly what we saw was he unveiled and handed a Rivers Angels jersey,
right,
which was, you know, basically the same as what the players were putting on. But at one point in time, we also saw jerseys unveiled for officials. The officials also have a new jersey. One of them is white. Then the other one, I don't know the color, kind of like gray, maybe mixed with green or black and somewhat. But those are the jerseys for the officials. So I'm sure maybe the coach will also have, you know, such official jersey. But maybe because it was a presentation today, so he was presented, you know, with blanks in there, with a Rivers Angels jersey, similar to what the players were wearing.
Let's hope that the players will get at the very best and, you know, let's say fuse together in a short while. But I don't know how this will be. Well, this is unveiling today. Maybe the players have been with the team in the preseason. Carl, in the next 72 hours or so, this team will be in their first game for the 2024-2025 football season year in the Nigerian Women Premier League. Like you mentioned, they've had some kind of trophy drought of recent. Do you see them with this injection of 12 new players getting back to trophy? Because I heard the team captain say that they will be going for the double this season.
Yeah, Catherine did say that during the course of the unveiling. The players were unveiled today, but for some of them, I'm aware some of those players have been with the team since November last year. So what Blankson has been doing in his pre-season with the team, now that's the important thing. I think perhaps at least he's had nothing less than, okay, I don't know how long ago all the players of Veld came in, but at least Blankson has been working with what he had around. And like I said, some of them were already around, you know, even before Christmas, before December. Some of those players were already available. Wednesday, they commence the season. They're going to be playing at the Adokia Mesemaka Stadium. And here's me being, should I say, being honest. I would expect plenty, you know, from a new man. I will not expect plenty from them. We know it's Rivers Angels, you know, they have the name, you know, they have a reputation, and we expect plenty from them. But you will need to see the team gel. We will not want them to start badly, though, but I will be giving them an opportunity to basically, you know, come together as a team and actually, you know, be able to play as a squad. In my opinion, it's a bunch of players now who are just, should I say, fresh, like I say, new coach, new tactics, and it's going to be difficult to actually blend. But we're not expecting something poor, but I will be that generous. Well, unfortunately, I'm not the employers. I'll be that generous to actually give them time to actually be the hell.
Well, Rivers Angels with a new team and made of players and coaches as well. The head coach is brand new, Blankson Blankson is his name. We'll take a very short break very soon, and when we return from the break, I'm sure we'll maybe get you pictures of these players that were unveiled today and the coach as well. But before that, Carl, let's look at something interesting here. The FA Cup across in England is moved into to the 4th round. And yesterday we saw something that looks like a traditional of the FA Cup in England, shock and surprise. Plymouth Angle shocked Brentford, the Premier League side, by sending them out of the FA Cup 3rd round. And for me, this is shocking. Plymouth only recently sacked their well-known coach, Wayne Rooney, if you remember. And of course, his assistant and the team captain was made the interim coach for this match. Just about 24 hours ago, they employed the head coach, a new permanent head coach, but he had to watch the match from the stand. And to my surprise and to a lot of people, this was a ragtag side did beat Brentford and send them out of the competition. Championship side that is not doing well. In fact, they've not won in their last 11 matches. And here they sent out Brentford, the Premier League side, from the FA Cup.
Traditionally, we say the beauty of the FA Cup. The FA Cup affords everybody the opportunity to rub shoulders. It doesn't matter whether perhaps you're the top rungs, of football in that particular country. You will play with championship side, you will play with league sides, and if you're not careful, they will mess you up. It's usually full of surprises. But to actually have Plymouth beat Brentford, that one was indeed a shock. And that was indeed a surprise because, like you've just rightly said, Plymouth have not been doing well of recent. Brentford is a well-respected Premier League side. Everyone talks about, how they are formidable opponents whenever you meet them. One would have thought it would have been purely academic for Brentford going into that game against Plymouth, that we would have had Brentford in the next round. But indeed, a shocker and quite a surprise.
Big shock and surprise, but for us here, I think that's what the FA Cup in England is all about, big surprises. And we'll take a break now, but we'll return very shortly because we'll bring you, if we do have every clear signs for the match, the players and officials that were unveiled at the Yakubu Gowon Stadium, and thereafter go into the one that is happening as we speak. Arsenal taking on Manchester United. It's difficult to separate the two teams. If you want me to let you know, they are into the second half of extra time, and we'll see how these two sides will be separated when we come back from this break.
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your bits on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN. From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your bits on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what they want.
I have fought very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
Welcome back. It's Sports Extraordinary this Sunday, and we're bringing you the very latest around the world of sports, especially in football, where we told you Rivers Angels unveiled a new set of jersey, new set of players, and a head coach of the team as well. Across in the FA Cup in England, there's been a big shock. Brentford, the Premier League side, have been upset by a team from the Championship that has not won 11 matches in their last 11 matches. So Plymouth is now into the fourth round. Brentford has crashed out into the third round. And as we speak, Arsenal is into a penalty shootout against Manchester United at the end of 90 minutes added time and extra time. It was 1-1 on both sides, and so now the teams are into penalties. Carl, just before we get to the penalty results, how did you see the encounter between Arsenal played at the Emirates against Manchester United in the third round, and qualification for the fourth round and looks a bit difficult for Arsenal?
Fiery, that's what the way I would describe it. Fiery, maybe back like what it was back in the day when we had Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger at the helm. Manchester United have not been in good form of recent. We know their struggles. New manager, Ruben Amorim, and seemingly did not give them that new manager bounce they were expecting. Now, the cups are opportunities for such struggling sides to actually get something. So for Manchester United, this is a final. This is a big game. You just talked about Brentford playing Plymouth. Tottenham playing Tranmere Rovers, for Manchester City playing, who did they play that they trashed 5-0?
8-0?
8-0, you know. All these other clubs have had easy matches to play in this round of the FA Cup. I'm sure for Manchester United, they'll be cussing their luck. Is this how bad things, and they give us a side like Arsenal to play at this stage. It's been an interesting game. The stats for the game were actually pointing to the direction in which the game was going. We had a red card for Manchester United, and even before then, there were already about 4 or 5 yellow cards in the direction of Manchester United. So what it shows you is that Arsenal playing at the Emirates, Arsenal playing at home, as usual, enjoying possession. Manchester United has to harry and hassle them off the ball, and also rely on counters to play, and that's why the bookings have been gotten by Manchester United.
What does it mean? Last year we saw Amorim, in charge of his former club side, Sporting eliminate Arsenal from the Europa League, and it was Arsenal Arteta at head. And Amorim, I think that's pictures of what we saw earlier today at the Yakubu Gowon Stadium. That's a new set of players being unveiled by by Rivers Angels. 4 new goalkeepers, I must say. Is it Carl or 2 new goalkeepers?
2 new goalkeepers.
2 new goalkeepers.
The 2 were previously with them.
Okay, so that's it. But away from that, we were talking about Arsenal head coach Arteta being eliminated by Amorim with his former club side Sporting Lisbon. What would that memory cause Arteta as the penalty shoots get underway?
Well, the match has ended. So basically, something maybe perhaps was learned from that particular game. For Amorim, he was able to hold Arsenal with a team that everyone will agree is not good enough. He's held Arsenal with it, and that's why they're getting into penalties. And maybe for Arteta, he didn't perhaps learn anything to beat Ruben Amorim. But anyways, the two scenarios totally not the same. Ruben Amorim, we know the tactics he favors the most, playing a 3-4-3 formation, or at least 3 men at the back, to say the least. The players he's had here have not been able to adapt to that system quite clearly. This is something different from what they've been playing. This is something strange to them. He didn't have a preseason, and he will need a preseason. Unfortunately for him, he has been having his preseason in season. That's why in the first few games he's played, he's done lots of rotation, he's changed players, he's basically trying out the players, trying to see who will fit his own tactics and formation. And also, it's quite unfortunate he didn't have that preseason. He has to do everything he can just to ensure that, I'll quote the words of Gbenga Ogunbote, to ensure that Manchester United finish in a respectable position. They can't hold him now. It's next season that you should judge him. He tried to get the board to wait for him until the end of the season, but they told him it's either now or never, and that's why he came. Because some people were asking, how do you jump into Manchester United, a sinking ship at this point in time? Yeah, they told him, if you don't come now, that's it. So if not, he would have waited until the end of the season.
Looking at the game, you know that it's ongoing. At the stage, Kai Havertz and Arsenal was awarded a penalty, and that was, do I say, well stopped by a goalkeeper of reserve goalkeeper for Manchester United off the boots of Captain Odegaard.
Yes, and it would have been an opportunity for perhaps Manchester for Arsenal to have at least gone 2 goals up, or rather it would have been 2-1 if they were able to score that one. But the goalkeeper was in fantastic form, was able to, of course, stop that penalty from Odegaard. Do I say maybe perhaps they made the absence of Saka? If Saka was available, Saka might have been the man to have taken the penalty. But that's why it's a team. That's why it's a squad. You should have players that should be able to perhaps, still step up when others are missing. But that said, Odegaard took a beautiful penalty kick, but the goalkeeper guessed right, went in the right direction, stayed low, and was able to stop the ball from going in. Okay, let's because we're running out of time now, let's look at what to come later tonight at about 8 p.m. Nigerian time. We'll have in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, Real Madrid up against FC Barcelona in what has been described as El Clasico away from Spain. This is the Spanish Super Cup final this season, or just say in the last season and up to leading up to this final, we've seen Real Madrid beat Barcelona by 4-1, and Barcelona beating Real Madrid by 4-0. Do you think these sides can be separated, in this Spanish Super Cup? Of course, the Spanish Super Cup sometimes looks like almost being rated as the La Liga, if no more. Well, this, all I say, is an exciting time to watch Barcelona and Real Madrid. We've had problems with Barcelona, even Real Madrid in recent times, and some people believe that that spark we usually had with concerning the El Clasico was no longer what it used to be. But Cyril, now, I'm telling you that this is a time you want to see them play. Previously, we took like a mini poll, that's on radio, and we're asking people, okay, is this a game you look forward to? That's past few seasons, and it was not with much enthusiasm that people look forward to the games. But right now, everyone wants to see. Hansi Flick came to Barcelona also with their problems, and seemingly went right into it, and it was working for them. People were thinking too, the man was going to struggle. Barcelona with their financial troubles and also, of course, team troubles there. The man was going to struggle, but he did well. Well, they started on fire, but they have actually dropped down. Currently third in La Liga, behind Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. from Real Madrid itself, at a point in time, they wanted to sack Carlo Ancelotti. They wanted him to move on. Some complaints. He won a Champions League again. Jude Bellingham and co. doing well, blowing hot at a point in time after blowing cold.
Yeah, you talk about Jude Bellingham. That reminds me, his combination with Kylian Mbappe, is it working?
I think the question is if Kylian Mbappe actually working for Real Madrid. His coming onto the team has actually, should I say, posed plenty of problems. He was brought in to replace, or rather, to be the answer to his compatriot, Karim Benzema, who left. You know, they've been trying to sign him for a long time, of course, from PSG. Now, we all know Kylian Mbappe favors playing on the left-hand side of the attack. But that's where Vinicius Jr., who makes Real Madrid tick, that's where he plays. Can Kylian Mbappe play in 9? Yes, he can, and everybody thinks he can. But you see, his presence has kind of like upset the chemistry Real Madrid basically had at the team. What they needed was a plug-in player for that 9 position, central position, and it seemingly has not worked really in reality for Kylian Mbappe. I'll end this by zero. Some people believe that Real Madrid at this point in time are regretting signing Kylian Mbappe.
Well, let's see in the days ahead, the rest of the season, we'll see how his contribution will be able to see whether they can still retain the Champions League and maybe the La Liga together. But for now, it's not completely what they expected of Kylian Mbappe. Jude Bellingham, of course, he's not been as consistent as we saw of him last season as well. But Carlo Ancelotti, the most experienced European coach, should know what to do with the array of stars available to him. But tonight at Jeddah in Saudi Arabia, the Super Cup final will come up, and it promises to be thrilling between these two sides. A lot of people said the fiery nature will just return, especially the fact that Barcelona too are beginning to have their players back from injury, and the two teams seem to be fighting at full trot. Let's hope it can get better. Saudi Arabia, Carl, now looks like the maker of sports. It could be Formula One, it could be football, it could be, you know, all sports, all type of sports. Tennis are all now being, situated when it comes to major events. Football, of course, as well in Saudi Arabia.
Golf, boxing, dragged it to Saudi Arabia. Football also. Now, they have made a concerted effort to actually put themselves in this position. And prior to this, they made an attempt to actually bid for the World Cup, which has finally come to fruition and all. So you see, it's money spent. It's a campaign. They've had people come in, the top, top athletes from different sports to act as ambassadors, to act as, evangelists for what can be obtained in Saudi Arabia. And of course, yes, Kirill, they spend big money, plenty of money to actually attract, all these events to their end, bring even the promoters for the likes of boxing. For football, they've done so. Some fans from La Liga have actually queried the fact that they will be having the Super Cup played in Saudi Arabia. This does not afford the fans of these clubs the opportunity to travel. Not everybody who is financially buoyant enough to travel to the Far East, to the Middle East rather, to go watch that one. But here's the thing. The fact that it's held in Saudi Arabia is a plus, not just for the clubs itself, or for La Liga. There is some money that will be made by the clubs, participating clubs, and also La Liga. And I'm sure for the clubs and La Liga, they look at it as, and the FA, they look at it as a win for them. The fact that more money. There's not so much money in Spain. Similarly, all the television money and all the big, sponsorship deals are in England at this point in time. So you would take any cash you can get, and if it's coming from Saudi Arabia, why not? Well,
we have to begin to wrap up the show now because time is up. But as usual, we'll bring you a sports extraordinaire for this sports extraordinary, and it has to be, do I say the new coach for Everton? Is he new? He's returning back. David Moyes is returning back after 12 years. 12 years. Carl, this is one man who took Everton to various European places before he was sacked, but now the new owners of the team find him, do I say, as a beautiful bride to return. It must take something for you to have the return of David Moyes after 12 years to Everton.
I was listening or watching Everton TV. The fans are basically, they don't know where they stand on this one. David Moyes has had success with West Ham United, in recent times, actually taking them European glory. Now, they do recall that under David Moyes, they actually had Champions League football or European football under David Moyes. That they do recall. But you see, they've wanted progressiveness. Sean Dyche is a player, is a coach who has not actually given them progressive football. David Moyes, we know, also plays some kind of limited football. That's we saw him do with West Ham United. So you see, they're kind of like in between now. They don't know what they want. Are we moving from Sean Dyche to Sean Dyche's perhaps senior brother, an upgrade to Sean Dyche, who will ensure that we do not lose games, but who will also give us beautiful football like perhaps we're looking to get from other clubs. But I think basically they will have to see. His CV speaks for him, what he did most recently with West Ham. Let's see if he's able to, first of all, get them far, far away from the relegation zone.
Well, David Moyes looks to me more like an Everton coach than a West Ham coach, and I think he's had his best of results coaching Everton as well. And that will be it for this edition of Sports Extraordinary. Carl, many thanks for coming through, and we hope to bring you a result of all the matches that took place in the FA Cup third round, and beyond that there is a result coming as well from the Godswill Akpabio Stadium. Not too good for Enyimba International. But Carl, at his last check, Enyimba was losing, at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium against Al Masry of Egypt. A
game they needed to win, a game they strongly need to win if they want to progress beyond this stage. And for Arsenal also, I think the penalty shoot has ended, and they've lost that one 5-3 on penalties.
Well, that is it for Arsenal. They have to now concentrate on the Premier League and leave out, because they are crashed out of the FA Cup 5-3 on penalties at the Emirates Stadium. That will be it. We'll return back tomorrow bright and early on the program, and then when we do return, we'll give you update of all of the results across the Australian Open to football as well. See you bright and early tomorrow morning.